two co-teachers. This past week was their last week. For all of that to come down to this one day, this final dinner together, we didn't let ourselves get like emotional or anything. It's sad being forced to say goodbye, but I know we'll see each other again. Hey guys, it's Gabriel. Welcome back to my channel. For the last couple of weeks, I've known that I've been placed at a second school. There's this thing going on in some of the schools in Busan where every year the number of students is sort of decreasing. As a result, they minimize some of the classes, and that ends up leaving EPIK teachers with less hours to teach. To sort of calm myself and mentally prepare, I decided to send a message to the EPIK teacher that was leaving the school. She and I got along really well. She said a lot of really good things. She let me know that the level of the students can definitely vary, but nonetheless, she said they're very active and enthusiastic about learning English, so I feel like regardless of what their level is, as long as they're willing to try, that's all any teacher really needs in order to try their best to teach, you know? Finding the school was really easy. Thankfully, it's really not that far from the metro, so that was one plus. But I was definitely worried about being late, so I woke up pretty early this morning to make sure that I was actually on time. I ended up getting there like 30 minutes early. I got to meet some of the parents, and I met so many different teachers, all of whom, as soon as they said hi, I was thinking, oh, they're my co-teacher, but no. In meeting other teachers, like, I learned that there's a lot of teachers that actually speak pretty decent English. Like, we can have a conversation. So it was really cool to see that. Unexpectedly, I got along really well with the PE teacher. It's like, I don't like sports, I don't do sports. His personality is just so funny and open, and he's hilarious. He actually laughs like my brother. It's sort of like this grandma lazy kind of laugh, but it's so funny. He just has a really good and infectious personality. After that, I sort of sat in the teacher's office waiting for my co-teachers to come. I have a male and a female co-teacher. I met the male co-teacher first. He was very welcoming and very kind, and he kept telling me like, oh, my English is very poor, so the woman teacher will be your managing co-teacher. And I was like, no, your English is fine. I could tell he was kind of nervous about speaking English with me, so I tried my best to try and encourage him, and I even tried to use some Korean as well. But yeah, I think something like that is going to take some time. After waiting a little bit, the female co-teacher came, and she's actually younger. I haven't confirmed this, but I heard that she was like a year younger than me, which before arriving at the school, I was kind of nervous about, because I was like, oh no, like, I mean, not that I was expecting her to be mean and evil, but it's like, what if she did turn out to be mean and evil and strict, and it's like, she's talking to me and she's like, so I told that to my co-teacher at my main school, and we just both kind of had a laugh about that. But that couldn't have been farther from the truth. This teacher is super sweet and very nice, and I don't know, I felt like I could sense the spirit of the school. Everyone just seemed genuinely happy, and people seemed like they're excited to work there. So I met the female co-teacher, and she kind of took me on a little bit of a tour, and then eventually we had to go to the broadcasting room so that I can introduce myself. This is like making me flash back to when I first arrived at my main school. We also had to do the same thing. Thankfully, I didn't have to speak. At my main school, when I came a year and a half ago, I had to like say something, which was kind of nerve-wracking, but the students were able to see me on their TV screens in their classrooms. And then after that, I went to my actual classroom with my co-teacher, and we were both equally shocked to see that there was a really nice and sweet message written on the board, and it said, welcome Gabriel Sungsenim, which means teacher, and then in the corner it says Gupo loves you. It was the sweetest thing. At first I was like, is this from the students? But I was like, they don't know my name. And then I realized it was from the former EPIK teacher, and then we turned towards the desk, and there was like a letter there, like a long letter actually, and some chocolates. She also left stuff in the bottom drawer. I was just like, what in the world? The funny thing is, it's a bunch of snacks, so I was like, this is perfect. And it's so dumb because I should totally be bringing snacks to school, but I never do that, so it was actually really nice and convenient that she did that for me. This former EPIK teacher went all out, and it was honestly the sweetest thing. It was so unexpected, and it just completely made my year. I'm glad that this happened because it makes me realize like we definitely have the power to impact someone else's experience, especially when we're the ones leaving and somebody's coming into something new and they don't really know what to expect. I've been here for a year and a half, so I should know what to expect, but it was still nerve-wracking and scary to like start all over again at a new school with new teachers and new students, and in many ways it felt like my first time all over again. But I was just so shocked. She put so much work into this, and it's like leaving Korea, I imagine, is actually pretty difficult because you have so many things and loose loose ends you need to like tie up. So the fact that she took the time out to do something like that, like it just meant the world. She was giving me the lowdown of like all the stuff that goes on in the school. And she was telling me about how one of the students, they want to connect so much to the EPIK teacher that they actually call the classroom phone and they'll just try to talk to the English teacher. I remember that throughout the day, but I was like, I don't think he's gonna do it on the first day though. And then lo and behold, I heard the phone ringing, I answered it, and he was just like, hello. And I was like, hi. He was like, I'm happy. Are you happy? And I was like, yes, I'm happy. I tried asking him some questions. He didn't fully understand me, so I didn't want to use Korean because at the school, like I don't want to get into the habit of using it as like an easy way out to get me to communicate with the students, even though it 100% definitely helps. Eventually over the phone, I just kind of had to like, you know, give him the Korean a little bit to sort of help the conversation move forward because I could tell he wanted to say more things, but we weren't really figuring out what to say. I knew that classes weren't starting today, but normally they start on Fridays. So I was expecting to have class tomorrow, but apparently I don't have to. So I was like, oh, okay. The lunchroom is set up differently. So at my main school, the students eat lunch with their homeroom teachers, and some of the special teachers and the principal and vice principal, we all have lunch together in the cafeteria, which is like a small room with 2 tables. But lunch at my new school, it actually reminded me of America because it was like a legit cafeteria. So the teachers and the students, we all eat together. So later on in the afternoon, we had a teachers meeting for all the new teachers. At that meeting, we actually had to sort of greet all the teachers and say a little something. I spoke in English, and then when I was getting some stares, I was like, okay, I need to throw some Korean in there. A year and a half ago when I started at my main school, I didn't actually tell people that my mom was Korean. That wasn't something that I sort of opened up with. And I don't remember if I went into that on my YouTube channel or not, but from the beginning, that was something that was advised. So it took a long time before I actually started telling people. Only my co-teachers knew and my principal and vice principal knew. But now pretty much at my main school, everyone pretty much knows because you know, people talk. So today was my first day and I just got it all out there. Actually during lunchtime, that's when I sort of opened up about my story and the fact that my dad's Black and my mom's Korean and sort of what my year was like last year with my mom coming to visit Korea. So I'm hoping that that kind of opens the door for people to want to build on a relationship with me. Unlike last year, I was so tied to my co-teachers because I wanted to do well in my job. I didn't really allow myself to think about any of the teachers that much outside of the English department. This year, with literally all my teachers changing, I kind of want to take that as an opportunity to start fresh and get to know more people and to just sort of expose myself. Because you never know what kind of people you'll meet and who you'll become close to. Like I said, today I felt really close to the PE teacher and it's like that came out of nowhere. Today just like really opened my eyes and I realized like I just made myself worry for absolutely no reason. And on top of that, just to get the type of welcome that I got, it changed my school life for sure. It actually reminds me of how blessed and lucky I felt when I first came here, and it's like I definitely don't deserve how well things went today. I have yet to experience a situation where I go to a school and it's like, oh, the school, like, it's not good, or, you know, oh, people are mean or standoffish or intimidating or whatever. Like, I haven't had that experience and people have just been constantly nice and sweet and kind, and it's like, oh, it's just very humbling. A little bit off topic, I just want to put this out there, but as you guys know, if you watch all of my videos, I did a coming out series, and somebody that I really care about, this person didn't know, but they found my videos and they just wrote the sweetest message. It just brought back so many memories because I've known this person for a really long time. It just meant the world to hear how much he embraced my story and embraced all the stuff that I went through, and it's all kind of led up to this thing that's been happening. I've just been reigning with this feeling of like, I'm so thankful and blessed for the people that are in my life, for the people that I've known for years, and to the people that I just met today. I just feel completely surrounded by so many good and loving people, and it means the world because I know not everybody gets that. So I just wanted to put that out there. That has a lot to do with just the fact that the last couple of days has just been beyond amazing. So I feel like exclaiming something like, be good to people. I just feel loved. Like, why? I don't know why it's happening, but it is. Oh gosh, like, I'm just so thankful. I think that's about it. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely be sure to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Zuff678. Be yourself, love yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye. I guess the only sucky thing about having such a good feeling is like, you can't imagine something being better than this. So once you get to that point where it's just so amazing, you're like, okay, well, it's gotta go downhill from here, right? So I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, so we'll see. Such a good day. So that day was actually mostly about my goodbye to Miss Bay. Sunny, I actually had her gift that day, but I decided to give it to her the next day, which was yesterday for me. But I thought that day was actually gonna be the last day that I would have like dinner with her. It wasn't really a dinner, it was actually more like a brunch, but it was with her husband and her niece.